Hey guys, it's Siobhan Muir, and I'm welcoming you to the Sunday morning tea. I know it's it's kind of early. It feels early to me too. I'm a little late though. That's the thing. I'm just a touch late because I had um, I had to eat, and I had to get a fresh cup of coffee and so I can thrive. But what I'm going to talk about today is kind of the writing news that's going on in my little old life. And any questions that you guys have, please do ask because I don't mind. I don't mind answering questions. I have all sorts of random and possibly useless knowledge. But that's good morning, Terry. Welcome, welcome. Um, and yes, my if my hair looks red, it is. I actually this week just dyed my hair for the first time ever. It's kind of this ox blood, almost I would get burgundy, a burgundy color, and I figured it would work better for having a having dark hair. Hey, Stephanie, welcome. So that was my. I guess you could say I was acting out, whatever that means. I wanted to see if I could color my hair without doing damage to it because I don't want to bleach it, and I think it worked pretty good. It's kind of a fun color going on there. Mr. SM was looking at me this morning. And goes, "Wow, I really like it." Of course, when I first met him, he was like, I'm always a fan of redheads. So there you go. 8 degrees and snowing. Oh my glory. 8 degrees and snowing in Billings. Well, the weather folks said that it's headed toward us and it's going to hit us this afternoon, Terry. So I suspect that we're going to get because right now it's 50 degrees in Cheyenne. Of course, I'm several hundred miles away from you, but it's 50 degrees. it's supposed to It's supposed to snow today. The wind is kicking up, if that helps. Anyway, so what is the writing news? The writing news is that I am working on more stories than I know what to do with, and they don't always happen consecutively. So, like the other day, I wrote some flash fiction for Second Chance Whiskey, which is a sequel to Second Chance Succubus. And then I was working on Deli's story because, that one's got to move forward. Hey, Tanya, welcome. You're sorting out your stuff for a rare book signing. Ooh, that sounds really cool. Ooh, that sounds really fun. They're going to have a used book sale here in Cheyenne on the 10th, I think. And so it's like I need to go and see what kind of used books they have. Not that I need more books. I mean, you know, I'm currently reading this one. See, Marla's Melton, Danger Close. Marla's and I share the same birthday, and she writes Navy SEALs, and so I wanted to find this one. I actually was going to get this in ebook, but it was actually cheaper to buy the paper book, strangely enough. So I bought the paper book. Pretty good. On the edge of my seat, worried about the nail biting, that sort of stuff. Great stuff. But Deli, 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 there's Terry. Deli is coming. I've been talking to the model that is going to represent the cover. You're trying to find the gray POV for E.L. James. Oh, is she going to be there? Oh, that's great. That's fantastic. Yeah, you should definitely get that signed, Tanya. Deli, I've been talking to the model, and because I was going to buy the images of him so I can put it on the cover, and he only had small ones, like website style images. You want small ones for websites, and you want big ones for book covers, and he couldn't find the large size, so he had to contact the photographer and see if he had the originals that were of proper size. And given that he didn't have them, he says, I'll have to look for them, see if I have them. And I can't imagine that a photographer would get rid of them, but maybe he did. And then the last thing he said was, well, if they can't find him, which I'd be like heartbroken because the images that he would reshoot the images. And I'm like, I'm hoping you find them. I like the ones that were you already took. So we'll see. Um, I will let you know. However, we are working on another cover, my cover artist and I. I found the perfect guy and the perfect woman to put on the cover of my upcoming Cloudburst story called Cloudburst Coffee and Spa. And the man and woman are stock photos. Some of my favorites. The woman has got the same, the expression on the Beltane Witch where she's kind of going, yeah, that image that image is similar to the one that I found where there's a woman, she's standing there holding a mug in her hands, and she's kind of going, that's the look on her face, like, really? And the guy is behind her, and the guy is perfect. I mean, he's dark haired, blue eyed, he's got tats. Done! That's who I want. That's who I want on there. So he's gonna be perfect. And then, but we needed a background image. And it takes place in my little town of Cloudburst, Colorado, which is kind of one of those little, you know, brick, and you've been to those towns in kind of little parts of the Rocky Mountains where they're just little brick towns and all the storefronts and things like that. And you know, that's what there is a real town that Cloudburst is based on, but because I've made my own town and that means I can move the roads where I want to. Whereas, if I use a real town, I can't move the roads. So, but it's based on a town in Colorado. Actually, it's based on a couple of them, given the way they look and where they're placed. But the photograph in the background, I went to Wallace, Idaho I guess last August. We drove through Wallace, Idaho. Wallace, Idaho was the setting for the movie Dante's Peak. It was a little town that got destroyed by the volcano. Well, I took photographs of the town, and of course it has that little mining town in the Rocky Mountains sort of look to it. And I took a bunch of photographs, and then so we've used the photographs that I actually took on my piddly little cell phone camera, and it's turned out to make a really nice background image. So you're actually going to get a Siobhan Muir photo that I took on my phone while I was in Wallace, Idaho. So while it's not Colorado, it does look like Colorado, and there's mountains in the background, and so it turned out really cool. And what she's doing to make the cover is just like, this is gonna be great. We just have to fix the font on the title because it's just like, nah, that one's not right. Maybe that one. Nah, that one's not right. So we're still looking for the font. So, but that book is coming out. That's part of that box set that it will be coming out on March 22nd. But but I want to have a cover so that when I get the rights back to it, after the 3 months box set thing, I will have an individual cover for it, and then it will go into paper as well. Matter of fact, while I'm waiting for it to come back to me, I may actually put it into paper so that as soon as the ebook comes out individually, I'll have the paper book there too. You found it! Oh, good, Tanya! Congratulations! I'm very happy for you. That's great. So that's the writing news in terms of the box set, which is right now on pre-order on Amazon for 99 cents. It's called Magic Rising, a paranormal and fantasy romance limited edition collection. Good morning, Mary. Good to see you. Deli, we're still working out on in terms of the images, because if the image isn't big enough, I can't put it on the cover, which will make me cry. Totally cry. Then I am making a cover for Cloudburst Coffee and Spa when it comes out by itself, and then you'll get a pretty cover. And when it's done, I will show it to you anyway, because. And then the other thing that's coming is the next one I want her to work on will be the Courting the Dragon Widow. And I already have the guys. I already have the guy for Courting the Dragon Widow. I just got to figure out the woman. It's stock photos again. And unfortunately, Paul won't be involved in this one simply because he doesn't have any men that look like the hero in my head. So when is the next Cheyenne Cowboys coming out? Think about Cheyenne Frontier Days. It'll be probably June or July. I'm writing it in connection to J.M. Madden, and she is just booked up until then, and I've got a couple other books that I want to get out. So the Cheyenne Cowboys will come out right around Cheyenne Frontier Days, which is at the end of July, but it'll probably come out end of June, beginning of July. So it'll be ready to go by the time Cheyenne Frontier Days starts again. And this year, it's 122 years that we've been doing this rodeo. Almost like, people enjoy it or something. It will also be kind of a crossover because it'll connect with my Navy SEALs, but it'll also connect with Ultimate Recon. So, won't you come out tonight? Won't you come out tonight? Yes, absolutely, Mary, Cheyenne boys. Won't you come out tonight and bring your spurs and your boots? Which, there are a lot of people like that around here. It's kind of usual. So yeah, there will be a Cheyenne Cowboys this year, which will cross over with Ultimate Recon. There should be a couple Ultimate Recon ones, but it depends on if the Muse talks to me about them. Delhi's definitely coming out this year, hopefully in May, I think. But it depends. It depends on that cover. Man, it depends on that cover. I'm not worried about it. I do know also that the Cloudburst Coffee and Spa will come out by itself May or June too, depending on when I get the rights back to it, and then I can fool with it. But again, I will get it ready for paper so that it can go directly in there. Your birthday month, yay! Okay, and then who else has been talking to me? Well, weirdly enough, I've been writing on, like I said, Second Chance Whiskey. Second Chance Whiskey. Whiskey is the nickname of the in Second Chance Succubus. Chase Wolf had a partner. They were detectives, and he had a partner. His partner was Jameson, like the whiskey, and he was blonde, and he always went by, his nickname was Whiskey Jameson, right? I know, ha ha ha. But the reason is because his first name is Edgar, and he was like, just call me Whiskey because I really don't like Edgar, right? So I was working on his story, and he kind of came out of left field because I didn't have any idea that he wanted to be talked about. But I'd written a couple little flash fiction pieces about him, and now what's interesting about Edgar is human, right? But he got involved with a vampire, and he just realized that she's a vampire. That takes some understanding. I mean, he's a detective, right? He deals with science, and he deals with forensics, and he deals with proof, and he deals with the traditional forms of, well, if we have this result, here's where we got it. He doesn't deal with, oh, by the way, she can suck the blood out of you, and she can either kill you or not. That has never ever entered his particular world paradigm. So he's having trouble understanding that, and I actually had him freak out on her, and she just kind of looked at him and said, "Until you can get over this irrational." Or this irrational prejudice, you need to go. And she goes, prejudice? How can I be prejudiced against a mythical beast? And she looked at him and went, when you get a handle on this issue, I don't want you to come back until then. And she kicked him out. Bye-bye. So Jameson is having issues. and it was fun to write that. But then I thought, okay, well, how am I going to help him fix it? Because, it's a romance. They're supposed to get together. How does one get together with a vampire? Right. And so I kind of had the same sort of idea. Do you remember in Burning Yuletide, my character was human. My heroine was human. And she's like, I'm connected to a firebird. How do I do this? She ended up having to talk to a Mordecai. Mordecai are my speakers of the goddess. Essentially, they are, a lot of people would refer to the Pope as the speaker for God in the Catholic faith. This is the same sort of idea, except for they're not human. And they're the biggest chameleons ever. So if they're born into a dragon community, they look like a dragon. If they're born into a vampire community, they look like a vampire. If they're born into a demon community, you get the idea. Maybe he ends up needing her. Oh, Mary, he needs her already. So when she kicked him out, it's like ice in his veins or burning acid on his skin. He already needs it. You love the blurb on that one? I hope you enjoy it, Tanya. I hope you get a chance to read it because it's a good one. Well, in any case, she had to go and talk to the Mordecai. I'm going to send Jameson to another Mordecai. There's one in Vegas as well. And so I'm going to send him to the Mordecai. Because the Mordecai don't just help the elder races. They don't just help the werewolves, vampires, dragons, demons, goblins, ice demons. Who else do I got going there? The water folk, firebirds, any of them. They don't just help those. They actually help. If they're born into a human community, they help the humans too. Mordecai are us. Yeah. So he is going to go and end up talking to Master Kendall, who was in Second Chance Succubus and is the Mordecai that lives in Vegas. And that's gonna be a fun scene to write too, because he didn't take any of Chase's shit. Chase is a werewolf who was having real issues, and badass werewolf, and the Mordecai was like, if you don't calm down, I'm gonna send you away because it's for both of us. I can't deal with your energy when you're like, and you can't either. So just shut up, sit down, and relax. And Chase didn't like to hear that, but no, you don't mess with a Mordecai. They will make life rough for you if you do. So that's what Jameson's going to end up having to do, is talk to the Mordecai, and it's going to be fun to write that one, especially because there's a whole bunch of stuff he's going to have to deal with. So, all right. Sit, roll over, lay down, stay. Good boy. Actually, there was some of that in Second Chance Succubus, Mary, but it was not from the Mordecai. It was from someone else. Sit. Good boy. So I was surprised to hear that Jameson wanted some attention, and so I wrote on him for a little bit. You can go to my blog if you look for Snippet Sunday and anything that says kind of flash fiction, and search for flash fiction like photo or flash fiction song. You will get snippets of my writing if you want to read, and some of them are like 1,000 words, so you're going to get a fair amount of writing that you can learn a little bit about what's coming. So you're not going, where did this come from? So there's plenty of writing there. By the way, I am feeling better, and breathing better. Yeah, I had to do some essential oils to release some of the muscles in my chest. It turns out, in addition to the intercostals, it was the pectoral had tightened up too. So with the double whammy of having the muscles that were between the ribs and the big pectoral muscle that sits, like all the ones we love on men. Yeah, well, we have them too. And it had tightened up so badly that I couldn't breathe. I went and got a massage, and she actually released it, which hurt excruciating, almost as bad as the original pull. But she loosened it up, and I was able to breathe. And that's good, because let me tell you, it's very hard, very, very hard to pretty much do anything if you can't breathe. All right, so that's kind of what the writing news is. Oh, well, actually, there's a couple other things. One, I am celebrating my 6th authorversary coming this Thursday. There will be a Thursday Threads, obviously, because I still host that thing, but it'll be a special one, and all the stories need to be PG if you choose to write, because the judge is a youngster. Okay, over 10, but still a youngster. So, could have told you it wasn't from exercise, Tanya. The worst part about that pull on my chest was helping Mr. SM lift the mattress so we could change the sheets. And I pulled, it was just on my left side. Yeah, it was ordinary crap that we do every day. So actually, I think exercise is the only thing that saved me from it being really, really bad. So, and I hadn't overdone it with the exercise, because I'm too old for that. I'm not 20. If I was 20, I could have run it out and it would have been fine. Date night to see Black. Actually, today we're going to see it at noon. We won't do a date night because my folks are coming. So you have to see it before my folks get here. But we're going to go see Black Panther today. I'm excited. Oh, yay. I'm so excited. Anyway, so we are definitely doing the movie today, a movie date today, he and I. And then we'll be able to decide if the kids can see it, and then we'll go and take them eventually. But yeah, so Black Panther today. Yay! Black Panther. I've heard great reviews for it. And that's kind of important that I did definitely do. Can you hold on for just one second? I just need to do something. Hang on a second. Hey, Mr. SM, Mary's at the door. It was so good. Oh, you got to see it? Yay, Stephanie. That's fantastic. It's you got to see it, and that I'm so looking forward to it. That's one of the things that Mr. SM and I were talking about it, and we really wanted to get involved in showing that we supported it because it just looked really, really good. And it was nice to see an entire cast, pretty much everybody but two, be somebody who doesn't look like me. I was like, it's about time. It's about time. And I'm really hoping that there's really good storytelling too. So in addition to it being an a great cast and the story well written, I really wanted to have a good story. So I'm looking forward to it. Don't spoil anything for me. I will see it. I will see it. So yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to the experience of seeing it again or seeing it not again, but seeing it while with my movie buddy, of course. Mr. SM is my movie buddy. That's kind of important. So yeah, that's what's going on with me. So excited. What else can I tell you? Okay, so it's a shame that people are reviewing on cast rather than the story. Exactly, Tanya. See all the way to the end of the credits? Yeah, we usually do because they put in scenes, right? Mm-hmm. I know. I'm gonna do it. What was it? What I'm pissed about, Tanya, is that they're all like, it's not fair. There's no white characters, and it's like, really? Really? You're whining about one movie because there's no white characters in it? Can you be more racist? I mean, really? Maybe you should try harder to be racist. I mean, really, no, just show us your bigotry. I'm good with that, right? Every other movie out there is pretty much an all-white cast with one or two, dark-skinned character. Huh. But that's the way it should be. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. Okay, so how about we move on to any other questions? You guys have questions for me? I'm happy to answer them, and I'm good with that. I can answer questions. Yet 99 are mainly, exactly, Tanya. You nailed it. 99% are mainly white. They are, and the only ones that are not mainly white are usually often almost like lowbrow or stupid comedies. And people say, well, they do so well because the black communities or the people of color communities really like those, and I'm like, no, that's the only way you've gotten away with it, and it's ridiculous. Deli. How many books are going to be in the Firebird series? Okay, well, there's already 3 in the series. The series is called the Warbler Peninsula, and all the characters, or rather, all the characters I will write about in this town are not human. So this guy happened to be a Firebird. He is a twin brother to a Thunderbird. The Thunderbird lives in Colorado, and he's a firefighter, and he will work with a whole team of other firefighters who aren't human. So you get, I think there's a dragon and a salamander and a thunderbird and a stone giant and a banshee and a weather witch. I'm trying to think of who else. I have a whole team. Oh, and there's a couple of Ifrits. Ifrits are fire djinns. So yeah, there's only going to be, as far as I know, there's only one Firebird because he was born. It's one in every 2,000 births are turn out to be Firebirds of the Thunderbirds. So one out of 2,000 births of Thunderbirds, you get one Firebird. So he happened to be the lucky one. He doesn't look at it that way, but he's the lucky one. Now, his brother, his twin brother, does have a story coming, but he's a Thunderbird and he works in Colorado. So there will be more stories in the Warbler Peninsula series. It's just that they won't all be Firebirds, other things. Am I ever going to write about the aquatic people? Well, yeah, actually I do have, but they don't have tails. At least not when you deal with them from day to day. They have a very good disguise as well. They can walk around on 2 feet. It's almost like the Little Mermaid after she met the sea witch. They have a disguise that allows them to walk around on land, but they are the caretakers of the oceans and the lakes. And they too live in the Warbler Peninsula for now. I do have a historical one. You guys are going to like this one. The title is called How to Rescue a Pirate. And it's a story about he was a guardian of the sacred deeps and he screwed up. So the Lord of the Oceans, and it's not Poseidon, although the Greeks called him Poseidon. I have a different name. His name is Aegir. But he banished this guy. His name is Martin. Banished him from the sacred deeps to live among the humans, unceasing and undying. So he became a pirate. This is back in the 1800s. He became a pirate, and he came across this British warship, who the captain of whom had his wife with him, and the captain was a real piece of work. The captain liked to share his wife with his officer cadre. Yeah, and she was just supposed to take it. And so when Martin, my pirate, came across this warship and took her as prisoner, she's all like, "Thanks, thank you," and and then he rescued her, and he didn't have any reason to keep her, so he put her to shore and left her and went on his way. Well, then she heard stories of he'd been killed, he'd been hung, he'd been caught, yada yada yada, and she was like, and she did some research, and she dressed like a boy so no one could tell that she was a girl, and she went looking for him because she heard stories and rumors that he was really alive, and she found him. And so the story goes on about how she rescues him and saves him from kind of his despair, and all this stuff's going on. And then it turns out that the sacred item that was stolen, what that got him kicked out of the sacred deeps, is in the hands of that rapist captain who was her ex-husband, and they have to get it back from him. And action, adventure, and romance. Ta-da! I haven't finished it. I started it a while ago and I haven't finished it. Yeah. Anyway, so there's that story is coming too, and it has to do with my aquatic folk. And there is another story called The Water Woman, and it's also another one of those people that deal with that protect the lakes and things like that. And since there are a lot of lakes up there in Three Lakes, Michigan, she is the guardian of one of those lakes. So you will get a story about her and how her romance and her connection with the person who comes as an emissary from the Great Lake, right? Because there's Lake Superior right up there, and she's taking care of one little lakes for political reasons. And yeah, so it ends up that they get together, and y'all know Kate Blackhammer. Kate Blackhammer helped with that too. So Kate's a kind of a major feature in in Three Lakes. She's kind of a staple. Swashbuckling supernatural pirates. What's not to like? Exactly. Not only that, but you can't kill him. If you throw him overboard, he's not going to die. He can breathe underwater. Because he's from there. Anyway, so that's what's going on. Oh, goodness gracious. So, I am that's mostly what I'm working on is I get these stories that come out of nowhere, and take over my attention for a little while, and then they're like, no, you don't have to do that. We'll go on and do something else. So you're really glad you asked? Yeah, so there will be people that are supposed to be our water people, but their stories haven't featured nearly as brightly. Although there is a firefighter that I'm in the middle of. The story is called Locked Hearts, Loch apostrophe D, Scottish stuff, but locked hearts. And he's a boobry. A boobry is a water spirit. Now I've chosen that the boobry looks like kind of like the Loch Ness monster. That he's Scottish and he has that sort of shape when he's in his natural form. I've modified it a little, but in the rest of the time he's a firefighter because he can manipulate water, and that's really helpful when you're fighting fires. So he is a water person. He's an aquatic critter, but he will be fighting fires, and he'll be in Colorado. So if you see a Colorado firefighter, and the series, I only have one story in it right now, but the series is going to be called Elemental Hearts because each of the characters are some sort of elemental creature. They deal with fire, they deal with water, they deal with earth, that sort of thing. Landlocked? No, 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 no. He's not landlocked. He's got a locked heart, and it's locked up because he needs a second chance at love. Hint. I do what I can. I do what I can. All my stories, if you read enough of them, you'll find that there are links between them. And I'm just waiting for people. I'm waiting for people. Maybe it won't come out until I write Kate's story. I'm waiting for people to get the connection between the seals and some other stories. I'm waiting. No one has pointed out to me yet, so I'm like, I haven't noticed. But I'm waiting for them to get the connection. I'm not going to say anything more. Maybe someone will tell me. We'll see. In any case, there is a connection, but maybe it won't happen until Kate's story comes out. Which, the story's written, but it's going to need some heavy-duty editing, just like Courting the Dragon Widow is taking editing. So there you go. Anyway, are they the centaur of your attention? Not at the moment, and I don't have any more centaur stories at the moment planned. I did what I needed to do with centaurs, kind of like letting them do their thing. Maybe I'll write another one later. But I have a bunch of other mythical creatures that I need to work on. There's like, for example, there is a griffin and a demon. No, I'm sorry, a griffin and a goblin. Griffin and a goblin. Griffin and a goblin walk into a bar. And they didn't, actually. They walked into a cave instead, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a good weekend. My parents arrived today to help celebrate the Murlets' birthdays. And yeah, whatever, Mary. She said, I was thinking of sitting in a tree. Nope, no trees. He's looking. I'll give you the gist of what his problem is. The goblin is looking for a mythical griffin, but he's pretty sure that they were just a myth, like a unicorn. He's like, no, they don't really exist. Turns out the griffins do exist, and they've been hiding for a long time, but he needs one to break the curse of eternal blue balls. He got cursed by a witch, pissed off the wrong woman. She gave him eternal blue balls. Well, at least 100 years. Only 100 years. Okay. Tanya says she probably won't be on next week because she'll be in London at an event. I understand, Tanya. I totally get that. Yeah, Mary, ouch is right. So that's the things that my mind come up with, I'm telling you. So eventually I'm going to have to write that story because those people actually showed up in Death's Shadow. So I should probably write about them. So a few stories coming. You guys are not going to be bored this year. Not at all. Anyway, I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you have a great week. If I don't see you next weekend, have a good time. If I do get to see you next weekend, of course, it's the Saturday Evening Soliloquy from 4 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Central, and 7 p.m. Eastern. Or the Sunday morning tea, which is somewhere between 10 and 11 a.m. Mountain Time, which is 9 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Mountain, 11 a.m. Central, and 12 p.m. Eastern. So have a good one. Good to see you. Thanks for joining me. And I will talk to you later. Happy. Oh, do remember, I'm probably going to do a Facebook party for the authorversary and giveaway. I'm going to do giveaways, but definitely sign up for my newsletter so that you can find out about the giveaways because I'll put it in there too. Anyway, so have a good one, and I will talk to you later. Bye.